Right, hello everyone. So I'm a bit late there. My last stream went. Why haven't I got no sound? There we go. Yeah, sorry I'm a bit late. My last stream went on right the way up to 5 to 8, so I had to quickly take, well, do things you do in a break. So, how have I missed times? It only just started. How can I have times on the board already? In a way, at the moment, Hunter first, 11-8. Chris second on a 112, 112-1 for Whoopi. 112-1 for Daguna. Even people are pitting already. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it is what it is. Lismore 112-3, 112-4 for Junkie Emperor, 114-2 for Lee. Well, I'll just call him Lee. Here's Sam. He's invalidated. His HCA's stuck in the pits. So that's what's going on here. He is, isn't he? No, I think it's me. I think I've been kicked from the lobby or something. Something ain't right. Because it's just said that HK has done the fastest lap of the race, despite the fact he's stuck in the pits on my screen. So I'm going to leave and rejoin. If it doesn't work this time, I'll jump in a car instead. Thank you, Hunter. Right, let's try that again then. Right. Come on, load. Right, so here we go then. So this is Kaz this time, and he's actually driving into the pits, so that's a good sign. That's a bit better. So he's fastest on the 111.2. Everybody out on track is on out laps. Pete has just crossed the line to start his. Oh, but he must have invalidated final corner because he's invalidated next lap as well. So forget that one. Who's the Ferrari that's just come around the hairpin? This is Junkie Emperor, so he's on an out lap. And will be next to cross the line. So we'll go with that one. Yeah, I'm in Hunter. Right. Okay. Let me get the stream up a second. So, in a way, Junkie Emperor onto a lap. His PB at the moment, the 112.4. See if he can go any faster. The two Ferraris dominated last week at Baku. Obviously, it was a very incident-laden race with a short grid, so even though that was the case, they still had to do the business, and they did just that. Right, I've got the stream up. There we go. Excellent. Right, everybody's on the same wavelength now. Same page. Right, so Junkie showing purple through sector 2. Round hairpin quite nicely. Comes round. Comes along. Long straight. Messes your setup slightly this straight. I could do with a chicane in the middle of it, and then you wouldn't have to bother about amending the setup to be decent down the straight as well as through all the corners. But Junkie Emperor crosses the line, then improves by 3/4 of a second up to P3 on a 111.6. Anyone else improving? Gooner? No. He's invalidated, so Chris is showing us over half a second up. Ah, now Curtin King goes fastest, 110.6. Now that's moved the bar up a little bit. So Chris was improving nicely. Should be heading into low 111s, I believe. See as he crosses the line. On the time, and it's a 1:11.2. That puts him in P2 for the moment. Junkie, no. Whoopee. That's invalidated actually. So Lismore going through the final corner now. So 1:12.3. Doesn't improve on that one. Mistake on his PB by half a tenth. Oh, it's so hot. That's unreal. Right, Sam around the hairpin. Hasn't got time on the board yet, so I can't compare him to anything right now. I hope we get the option at some point to set the time to who we want to compare to. Like if you see it on telly, you know, oh, he's invalidated through the final corner. When you watch it on telly, it will have the time up for 16th when it's, or 15th when it's Q1, 10th when it's Q2, that sort of thing. So you can select the position you want to compare it to. That would be a cool option for the next game. I was kind of hoping it might be in this one, but unfortunately not. So, anybody doing a hot lap? No, Lismore's not. Nor is Whoopi. So Hunter maybe? Yeah, Hunter's on a lap, so half a tenth up. Comes through now to the chicane. Relatively fast chicane. You generally take it in fifth, maybe down to fourth for the first part and up to the fifth on exit maybe. Almost 3 tenths up. With where it stands right this second, he would move ahead of Junkie Emperor. Needs to find a bit more to go any further than that. Comes in through the final chicane, heads for the line, and it's a 1:11.2. That puts him P4, so he gets ahead of the Gooner as well. So jumps both Ferraris. So a nice lap from Hunter. Sam into the pits this time. Pete again must have invalidated. Got a yellow flag. Is that Hunter then? Because he was just getting out of the way. That's cool. He moved over to the right hand side. So, right. Just nipped to the Gooner actually. It's a bit, not as far around, but we've got a lap that we can actually compare to. So he's 17 thousandths of a second up through sector 1. As Hunter gets out of the way, notices him just in time, gets over to the right hand side. Through the next chicane. Into the all-important hairpin. So he's now half a tenth down, but believe it or not, if you come out of this hairpin a lot better than you did the previous lap, there's just loads of time to be had. And obviously the chicane at the end is also important to get it right. So, Gunnar takes it in fifth, but invalidates the lap. Where would he have been? 1:11.0. He would have improved by 3.5 tenths. So that shows you there's plenty of time there in that final sector. And he'll have another go at it yet. He's not giving up. Pete then across the line has done a 1:10.8 and goes into P2. There's several laps on those tyres as well, I'm sure. So it's pretty nice. Right, it looks like then HKaz will be next to start lap. So let's do a hilly hot lap with HKaz. So through the chicane then, take as much speed as you can onto the straight to head over the start finish line. Slight right hander heads down to turn 1. Take as much curb as you can to open up the entrance into turn 2. All about the traction on the exit of turn 2, and he's lost it slightly. That may lead to him backing out. And in fact he's invalidated, so he does indeed back out, so we'll look for another car. We'll see if we can get a hilly hot lap in, but at the moment moment. Waiting for a driver to start a hot lap. Looks at the moment, Lismore and Whoopi are on out laps. I did the lap with Whoopi last week, so it'd be ideal to do it with Lismore. So let's just, here we go down, so through the chicane. Nice speed out onto the home straight. So here we go once again, over the start-finish line. Take it round to the right as far as you can. Open up the entrance to take the curb and give you a decent entrance. Turn 2, maybe could have taken a bit more speed through there, but does get a nice exit. Oh, he's invalidated as well. I won't be able to find anyone that does a full hot lap. You watch. Hunter's very early on. Whoopi's going to be next. So Whoopi into the left-hander. This corner we've now seen 3 times. Yeah, and keeps it very tight in. Opens up the steering. There's the chicane. There's so many out, but Whoopi takes it nicely. It's right round to this right-hander. No issue at all in the drive. It's just flat. Down to third for the left. And round to the right. Again, traction is difficult out there, so you've got to be careful getting on the power. But does it reasonably well there, Whoopi, and heads to this chicane, which you'll take in. Well, he invalidates. He actually geared down to third. I wonder if that aided in validating the lap, because you wouldn't normally go lower than fourth for that one. And to be quite honest, I personally prefer to take it in fifth. So, no, ideally, Sam at the same part of the lap that we're at. So we head now, going around to the left, flat out, down to the hairpin. Brake late, but turn in nicely. Open up the steering. Much power as you can. Traction is okay there if you've got the right setup on. Opens up the DRS all the way down this long straight that will head down to the final chicane, where you either take it brilliantly, invalidate, or hit the wall. And he took it brilliantly. Wall of Champions, as it's called. Heads over the line, and it's a 1:11.9. Puts Sam into P8. Nicely done, Sam. Thank you for not invalidating. Anybody else? Right, who's actually on laps? Let's just check all this. Right, Kaz is. So, nearly 2 temps up through sector 2. It's down to the final chicane. Can he find anything through the chicane? Oh, he's round and into the pit wall. Crunch. There goes the wing. That'll cost Alfa Romeo a bit of money. He didn't actually take it that badly, but just seemed to lose it after going over the second curve, or the curb of the second part of the chicane. So is anybody improving? Daguna's slightly down. He is going to get a tow all the way along the straight here from Junkie. Junkie was invalidated, so he's going to pull out the way. Might help Daguna. It doesn't invalidate, and we know he had time in that chicane. So across the line it goes. It's a 1:11.2 and pushes him up to P3. He gets ahead of Chris by 6 thousandths of a second. So we do have a Ferrari in the top 3. And on the second row of the grid, Hunter has invalidated his lap. So I think if we go to Karting King, no, he's back to ride out. So I think that's it. Hunter, as I say, is invalidated, so that's the end of qualifying. Remember, it is short qualifying tonight. 50% race. Again, we are looking for drivers at the moment, as you can see. 11 on the grid this week. So, if you would be interested in driving a Sunday night, 8 PM, short qualifying, 50% race. Standard of racing is usually very good in this league as well. If I wasn't already committed to doing the commentating, I'd be racing instead. Without a shadow of a doubt. So, Hilly recommends it. So just get in contact with me if you'd like to do that in a chat. You can do it through Xbox. My gamer tag is ArcHilly #9505. Arc is spelled ARC. So by all means, give me a shout. Failing that, there will be, I think, some adverts going out soon, Facebook and stuff. Did start. Well, first few races we had full grids, which was great. There's no actual reason why it's been a bit lower today and last week, but these things happen. So all we need to do is replace those drivers. Most of which are still in the Discord, by the way. It's not the case that they've left the league. Just for whatever reason, can't race Sundays now. So. Right. Okay, guys, I'm just going to take a moment away. I need to get a coffee because I didn't have time to get one before the qualifying, so I'll be back in a second. Right, guys, I'm back with you. Just waiting for the drivers to finish their break. Do not ready up. We go at right. Okay, so we're going at 2022.
Don't start.
So then.
You are very lucky.
Just wait for it. So, Canada. What can we say? I mean, if this was obviously 11 drivers, but I still expect I would take a hazard a guess that over half the grid will end up picking up a penalty at some point. In online racing, that is what Canada is notorious for: is penalties, the old corner cutting. If you do make it through without picking up a penalty, you've actually done a grand job. Other than that, in terms of racing, Sector 1 is pretty much a no-go for making moves. There's not really anywhere in Sector 1, apart from Turn 1 is the only possibility, really, if you've got the DRS at the chicane, and you're pretty close to the car ahead, to be fair. Other than that, Sector 2, then you've got a DRS zone that leads up to the chicane. Again, they're probably not the best place. It's more a DRS zone that would I mean, you can, again, if you're close enough coming out of the previous corner, you can. But it's more a DRS zone that's designed to get you close to the car ahead, leading into the final sector, which is predominantly that long straight, which has DRS. So that's the main opportunity for overtaking, is that long DRS straight. Hey, well, Pete. Whoopi says he won't get as far as getting a penalty. You'll be crashing before that. You will not. Positivity, Whoopi. Positivity. Right. Let's enable everything. Full track map. Tyres. Right. So tyre-wise, interestingly, Carton starting on pole position has opted to go for soft tyres. Gives him a chance to pull away at the start. Then we got Pete the Gooner and Chris all on the mediums. Kaz is going for the hard tyres, ended up in P5 in the end. Hunter on the softs. Junkie and Sam on the hards. Mediums for all Pete. And Lismore and Lee on hard tyres. So, predicted strategy, hard to medium, medium to hard. That's generally the way to go in all the Grand Prix this season. The reason you might see people starting on softs, there is the potential to do a two-stop here. The reason for that is that the pit lane here is... I don't know if it is the shortest of the season, but it's got to be one of them. If it's not the shortest. I would imagine it's the shortest, surely. I'm not sure why Pete has disappeared up the road on the formation lap here. Pete eager to get on with it. It won't start the race any quicker, Pete. But he's won the formation lap. Fair play to him. He's won the formation lap. Can he park in his grid slot? I'm going to say there's going to be 2 disqualifications for not reaching your grid slots correctly. Yeah, he parked okay. Here comes the rest of the grid. Pete won that formation lap clearly by an absolute mile. I have to say that was very impressive. Perhaps he needed to get parts so he could get up and do... Maybe he had to do something quickly. Hunter gets disqualified for not parking correctly. I need one more, guys, for my prediction to be right. No, I'm not going to get it. Well, that's rude. Just plain rude. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights are on. And we are... Go in Canada. Martin King moves off the line very nicely. The Gooner had a good start as well. There's 3 cars. Did they get round there safely? They did indeed. So well done for getting around there safely. The way they were entering into that corner looked like there was something inevitable about to happen. They've done well. Sam's fallen back a bit, but I don't think there's been any incidents as such. So, at the moment then, Carton King leads. He's got that tyre advantage early on. He's going to want to take advantage of that and see if he can build up, ideally, at least a 5-second lead he'd like to get. That would be perfect. Whoopi gets ahead of Kaz. And that is... Oh, but Kaz has to go back. Whoopi's going to go back through. Kaz, he smashed into the wall. It's not a retirement. He seems to go deep into the corner, have to pull it round quite severely, and then lost it on traction. Possibly caught the curb slightly on exit, but why have you left the session? There's no need to leave the session. Well, I've invited him back. That's frustrating. I mean, I really hope he joins back, because at the moment it looks like a rage quit out without bothering to retire your car, and it was your own fault. So, issues. Right then, in a way, let's say we're off at the start. At the moment, Karting King's not been able to get out to 1 second to Pete, and he's just nipped out to 1 second there, so that's important. He had to get out that 1 second. Can he hold that? That's the question. Obviously, DRS is activated this lap, so the next DRS zone they reach will be active. So Carson King will know the importance of getting out of that 1 second, but everybody else has got it, so as Lee has to come into the pits. And we've got a full track yellows. I have absolutely no idea what the reason is. So there's no safety car out on track, so this is a virtual safety car. There you are, you can see the VSC flashing on the board. Karting King decides to pit. He's on the soft tyres, he's going to take advantage of the slow speed out on track to take his first stop. Hunter picks up a drive-through penalty. Speeding under VSC, Hunter. Hits it as well. Both gone to the medium tyres. So, I understand the idea of getting a pit stop out of the way while VSC's out on track, but why start on the... That's the only thing I don't get. Why start on the softs in the first place? If you're just going to pit under the first thing. I don't know, but it's their race and they obviously got their own strategies in mind. But I just would have thought that it was too early. If you're doing a two-stop, soft, medium, soft, or soft, medium, soft, medium, or whatever, then surely it's too early to pit. But we'll see. Gunnar sets the fastest lap of the race so far, but that would be beat considerably. It already has been. 14.7 from Chris. Again, that's going to be beat considerably before the end. Hunter in for his drive-through and exits again. He's going to come out where he is in P8. Yeah, he didn't want to play, look, so he's gone on to Forza Horizon 5 instead. Oh.
What's he coming in for? 96.
Well, there you go. Don't know if you guys could actually see what I was doing then, but I've sent Kaz a message saying, look, why bother qualifying if you're just going to leave? Lee has an instant in the AlphaTauri and has lost his wing. Pete takes the lead off with the Gooner. Kaz's must be back soon because I spun and had to retire. I messaged him back to say you didn't retire, your car's still going. He gets a penalty. Well, he's already broken his expectations by reaching the point of picking up a penalty. Well done, Whoopi. Went into the wall and thought that was it. Well, no, it wasn't. Right. Well, in that case, why do you think I'm inviting you back? So I'll do it again. I'll invite you back. Right then. So the Gooner then is caught back up to Pete after Pete got through. Let's see if there's anything he can do. Hunter's still on the softs he started on, so he... Obviously, we know he had the drive through, which is why he dropped down there. But he is back on the back of the pack now, though, Hunter. Oh! That was Whoopi. Whoopi with a spin. I don't think he actually hit anything, so I don't think there's any damage. I don't think he made contact with the wall. Just loses out to Carton King. Hunter is out of the race. I've completely missed that. I don't know where that's occurred, but it's brought out a safety car. Apologies, hopefully you guys watching saw that, but don't know where that occurred. As you can see, HKaz knows his car is still in the race, and he's still not returned to the game. Right, that's simply not the sort of driver we want in the league. So anyone that does watch this back and you listen, if you do watch it all and you listen to the commentary, I appreciate you might fast forward for a safety car, but if you don't and you hear this, if you would like to race, please get in contact. We are happy to go cross-play now, so it doesn't matter what format you're on, whether it's PC, Xbox or PlayStation. We are, or we were an Xbox League, but we are now on cross-play, so please feel free to get in contact. So you can do that to me in the chat or on my console, I don't mind. Sorry, Hunter. First DRS zone, lost back end. Oh, right, okay. Oh, is that on the exit of the, like, leading on to the DRS zone? Just while you're there watching, Hunter, I don't know if you were listening to the stream in a way, but HCAS crashed earlier on, left immediately. I've invited back several times, hasn't bothered coming back. Currently now playing Forza Horizon instead of F1. I even messaged him through Xbox saying, "Why did you leave? Why did you bother qualifying just to leave?" And he said, "Well, because my car retired." But so I've told him. That it hasn't, and I invited him again, and he still hasn't rejoined. Ah, yeah, that's the one. Okay. Oh, Hunter, I forgot to let you know the my Monday league is continuing, so I will still be racing on Mondays, unfortunately. But, and I'm getting my points from last week, which I didn't think I was going to get, so pleased with that. 19 points, second and fastest lap. Right then, safety car in this lap. We're going to get going. Chris leading the way. Carton King in P2, Sam P3, Pete P4. So Aston Martin currently P3 and 4. A few things you're not supposed to be doing. Okay, the Aston Martins look like they've changed places. Then, oh, it's carnage. It's absolute carnage. I really don't know what just happened. I mean, it was just carnage. The Lee's out as well. And all of a sudden, we're down 4 drivers. Actually, we're down 5 because one of them's an AI. I didn't get a proper view of it, but it looked like... I can only say what it looked like on screen, and it looked like Daguna hit Pete. But I can't be sure of that. I wouldn't trust my judgment on that. But it did look like the Aston Martins were swapping places. They shouldn't have been. Now, one of the things I did notice there were drivers driving alongside the car ahead of them. You're not allowed to do that now in Formula 1. The rule's not in the game, but you should really adhere to official Formula 1 rules, and you're not allowed to do it anymore. They changed it this year after the incident between Hamilton and Verstappen in Abu Dhabi last season. You must stay behind the driver ahead of you. It's fortunately then we're down. I'd love to say I'd actually love to say we're down to 7, but we're not. We're down to 6. My apologies that we're sat watching the car just drive round to the pits. I just kind of assumed there'd be another safety car for that, if I'm honest. Hope he leaves the session. Well, that was absolute carnage on the restart. Top man. Well done, Hunter. There's no point, is there? It's just, what's the point of having someone like that in? We'll get it sorted, mate. Don't you worry. Thing is with HCAS as well, it wasn't even a I mean, it's a rage quit, but they did it to themselves. They didn't even... Nobody else touched them. It was a pure self-inflicted thing. Yeah, it didn't look great, Whoopee, but I didn't really get a proper view of it on the stream. I was kind of changing cars just as the contact happened, so I didn't really get to see it. Takuna's back in to the pits again. So, I'd like to say there's 7 running, but there's not. There's 6. One of the cars is in AI. But we've got a battle for the lead between Chris and Karting King. So remember, Karting King has made a pit stop. He pitted under the VSC earlier on in the race and came off the soft tyres. So... ah, right, yeah. Yeah, I mean... that is effectively what I saw happen on stream, or I saw the initial contact, but that is what it looked like. But the way that Daguna's car moved, it didn't seem right. It wasn't as if he was just drifting across and accidentally hit him, but in a way, it is what it is. But on the upside, Whoopi, you did last long enough to pick up a penalty, so well done. So, I mean, this is our battle at the moment. We have actually got a battle for P3 as well, which probably stands a better chance at an overtake, actually. So let's go down to this one. This is Lismore on the Aston Martin of Sam. He has a look at the inside into turn 1, but the door closes, and he wasn't really alongside, so all fair in defending that one. Really squeezes him there, Sam, but again... Oh, and Lismore ends up losing it himself and is into the wall, and that's going to be a full safety car. Oh god, I'm having flashbacks to last week. And then there were 5. So, full safety car, as I said. Well, anybody who's not on hards just needs to pit to hards now. Less drivers on track, less possibility that another safety car will occur, and so surely it's a case for these top guys just come in and stick the hards on to the end. Karting King not doing it okay. He started on softs and moved to the mediums, but I still think it's the right shout to go to hards now. Junkie, yeah, Junkie's in as well. No, didn't expect the DNF that way though, no, definitely not. Well, let's just get through this, guys, and then we'll have a think about how we can get some more drivers. With it being cross-play now, it really shouldn't be difficult to attract enough drivers to fill a grid. Hunter always seems confident he'll be able to, so it's always the Facebook route. You got the official F1 group on the Xbox as well, which is always a good one. Put one of the looking for group post thingies out there. So I think it won't be so bad, but we have got a lot of drivers missing tonight. It's just one of those things. So if the drivers that declined, we'd have had enough for full quali if we did full quali. But hopefully they'll be back next week. But yes, I must admit about the safety car restarts though, Okay, it's something I'm going to have to do an announcement on in ARC this week as well, because people have to realise that the rule changed for this season, and you're not allowed to drive alongside the car ahead of you. You must stay behind them. Your front wing may not be in line with their rear wheel, so you've got to actually stay behind them. Because the game doesn't penalise it, people try and get away with it, I think. So the only way to stop that is for games to for leagues to actually penalise it, really. I understand it may not be the easiest thing to govern, though, as a league. Right, just before this safety car ends, I need to pop my phone on charge, guys, so I'm going to miss any comments that come up shortly. Dripping off me at the moment. Ah, so hot here. Right, okay, so... Oh, we're not getting going again, are we? We're going to do another lap yet. Okay, so... Well, Karting King seems adamant not to pit. I even think Sam on the mediums might be able to push those out to the end. Surely KK needs to pit again, and I can't imagine there's going to be a better time than this safety car. Even if he'd have done it there and dropped down to the back, it'd be better than pitting later on and dropping 20 seconds down to the back, or whatever. So right now, Chris and Junkie are looking in great positions. Takuna's already done 8 laps on his hard, so... I'd imagine, as we've had safety car, that they're not that worn yet, so I'd imagine he probably can push those out. But I say, Sam's the one I'm not sure about on medium tyres from here. I think the game offers you a strategy of 15 laps and 20 laps, mediums and hards, or something like that, so... But this is what I'm sort of talking about in terms of governing the safety car rules. So even as a streamer, like, there's not much I can do. I can flick through and keep flicking through and see if you spot someone, but really it's going to be down to drivers actually putting in clips. I think that's the only way it's going to be able to be done. So, there you go. Alright, that's actually a perfect example of a safety car restart. Everybody following the other. Obviously, forget that one, it's AI anyway, so... Everybody just following each other. Oh, as Chris spins it! On the cold tyres. And it did promote Junkie into P2, but Sam's gotten ahead of him. And takes P2 off of him. Oh, those nice, fresh, medium tyres, they're going to be feeling great. So, Sam... Sam is looking great here. I've changed my mind. I'm 100% positive he can push those mediums out. Now, what the case is going to be... He knows Karting King's got to pit again, so he doesn't even need to think about Karting King. He's got to think about the Ferraris. As the Gooner is let pass by Junkie. And moves into P3. So I think if Sam can create a sort of 5-6 second safety net over the Ferraris while he's got the fresh tyres, I can't see the Ferraris getting that back later in the race. So when the mediums start to go a bit, so he will even be able to lift and coast and stuff like that if he needs to. It's not. Well, it's not so much the lifting and coasting; it's the, you know, being able to on the exit not put the power down so heavily. That's where a lot of tyre wear comes from.
Take the bloody toe off.
So two Ferraris still close. I mean, Junkie's let Daguna through. I suppose Daguna's penalty free as it stands right now, but I don't know what it is with me tonight. Every time I say something like that, straight away, it's penalty free. Penalty. Proper commentator's curse. Love it. So DRS is re-enabled. And Sam's pulled out 2.7 seconds over the Gooner. I'll tell you what, if Corey King does somehow get these mediums to the end of the race and win this race, I'm going to give him... He's going to be my hero from now on if he does that. Because that is the proper tyre wizard if he does that. Surely it's not possible. As Chris gets past that AI back. So... Chris's race not over at all. He's penalty free. The guys ahead, all three, the next three drivers ahead all have penalties. So by no means is Chris's race over, and it's fifth, and that's it. He's got to keep plugging.
I am.
Just take a look at the penalties. They are all 3 seconds at the moment. But obviously with the nature of the track, there's every chance that could increase. So yeah, definitely Chris just got to keep going, keep plugging away. He is actually reducing the gap slightly. 5.4 now from 6 seconds. Let's go to Sam. But yeah, it has spread out quite a bit, hasn't it, since the restart. Not got any battles going on at all. Except for Chris trying to get into the penalty range of the cars ahead. I mean, that is a battle in its own way. A time battle. The car he's chasing, Junkie, does have clear air. Oh, Sam, no!
Football.
The old 50-point turn to get going again. There we go. Oh dear. Oh, what a shame for him though. Because well, I think he had to win. For me personally, I think he was going to win this race. As I said, look at Chris. He's got the gap down to 4.3 to Junkie Emperor now. 4. 3.9. He's flying. Absolutely flying. I just wonder what sort of gap just as Sam retired. Why did you retire it, Sam? Guaranteed 5th place just for finishing. Oh well, we're down to 4. So, I wonder what sort of gap Carton King would feel he needs to be able to pit for softs at the end. It's got to be in his mind. As I said earlier on, it is... I don't know if it's the shortest pit lane in the game, but it's right up there as one of them, without a doubt. Canada. So you can... I think it's probably no more than 18 seconds. So with the 3 seconds at the moment, it's a 9-second gap to the Gooner, effectively. The fact that Junkie is effectively 12.5 seconds, I think that's big enough to consider a pit stop. It's just a Gooner now. That's a little bit early yet, in a way. You'd have to keep pushing the mediums out a bit further. And while he sees the gap to the Ferraris increasing slightly each lap, there's no reason for him to consider the stop. I do wish we could see tyre wear. Or at least predicted tyre wear or something like that, based on the number of laps they've done. Just a reminder, guys, I had to put my phone on charge, so if you do make any comments, I'm not going to see them. So, Chris then has got the gap down to 3 seconds now. So, it's 3.1. 2.9. So officially now he would jump Junkie Emperor and take the podium off him based on the penalty that Junkie Emperor has. Right, Carton King is going to need to start thinking about a stop. Gap's beginning to decrease. So it's gone from 6 seconds to 5.7, and the gap to Junkie from 12.5 to 9.7. But he goes another lap. Still a lot of laps to go, isn't it? It's 10 laps left, including this one. I suppose the question is, would he rather pit and try and chase him back down? Bear in mind, he don't need to get past him, he just has to catch him because of their penalties, or would he rather be the one being hunted later on? And effectively, with the gap basically is 3.5 seconds, sorry, 8.5 seconds. Gap to Junkie's gone back up somewhat. It's 9.5. Oh no, sorry, it's not. It's 9.5 seconds. In he comes then. So In's Carton. Oh no, he's picked up a 5-second time penalty. Speeding into the pit lane. And that has just made things 10 times harder. I will say it is a difficult pit lane to slow down for, because if you use corner line, the line for the corner covers up where you need to brake for pits. So if you use that assist, which I think most people probably do, it's a bit of a nightmare. I always tend to overcompensate it and brake way too early at Canada, to be honest. Better that than pick up a penalty, really. So, anyway, Carton King then, he's exited the pits. It will not take him long at all to get these softs up to work in order. So, gap's 3.5 seconds to Chris. He's going to be first up. Chris, If KK was penalty free, I doubt Chris would have really been that interested in fighting him. But now KK's got 5 seconds. Chris can smell a, well, maybe a second place in this race rather than a third. So there's the gap. As I said, it's not a long pit stop, is it? So 3.3, 5.3, 8.8, and the gap was 5.5 roughly. It's really not a long pit stop at all. So I think the strategy was always Carton King's strategy from the start of the race. That's why he started on the soft tyres. Obviously the safety car coming out, or the virtual safety car I should say, meant that he pitted off with the first set of softs much earlier than anticipated. And ended up having to extend the medium stint. It's a pretty nice strategy, I must admit. I do like what he's done. He's got to be a bit careful with his energy here. He's run out of energy entirely. That's never a good thing. So he's trying to push while the rubber's brand new. You can understand that completely. Let's go on board with him. Sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:12.8. Very respectable race lap. This hasn't worked out ideal for KK though, has it? The fact that Chris is now within the 1 second all of a sudden of the Ferrari. If KK could have just picked these guys off one at a time using DRS down the main straight, it would have made life so much easier. It's a little run here, but no. I'm going to do that one. To the inside. It's again. Realises. Let's do that. Can the new rubber on the softs help him out here? Just looking at Chris, he's got more ERS. Martin King's. Oh, he's got a good exit there compared to Chris. Stay roughly side by side. He can put this up the inside, but fortunately, if anything, I think they got a bit close to the Ferrari, which ruined it a little bit. And that's the Gooner who suddenly appeared ahead of him as well. So Chris is now on for the win. So the Gooner must have had an incident there. Oh, I missed it, but he must have had an incident and it's dropped him right away back into them. Just trying to see if he's got any damage. It didn't look like it, but it wasn't a great view. Oh, and look. KK, can he? He's got it, hasn't he? He's got it. He's going to have the inside into the hairpin. There's plenty of room, and that's a fine overtake. Well, who would have thought it? We ended up with just 4 drivers left on track, and they are one after the other at the end of, well, closing down towards the end of the race. Oh, KK is going to be... I mean, if he gets ahead of them and wins the race, he's fine, and he'll be absolutely fine with everything. But if he ends up getting stuck behind one or both and doesn't take the victory, oh, that means he's got 8 seconds now. That's another 3 seconds. So we'd have to pull out a 5-second gap ahead of the Ferraris. Still, without the 5 seconds, it wouldn't affect him, would it? It'd still be just a case of let's get past the Ferraris. As the Gooner actually lets his teammate through there. Ah, touched the Gooner there. Oh, surely not. Well, Junkie Emperor just gets himself well out of the way of everything. He don't want to be in there anymore. He wasn't enjoying that. So they've both got DRS. Not this time. Not with the DRS. They'll both get DRS again here. It's not going to happen, but surely next lap. Next lap, but as I say, he's got to play 5 seconds. So Gunnar on 6. It's looking very much like Chris is going to be the winner here. See with the Gunnar on 6 seconds, Curtin King on 11, and he's just there. Look, that's him there, Chris. So it's looking like he's going to be our winner. As long as he just keeps it going, he's just got to get it across the line. Junkie picks up an extra 3 as well, so there's no fight coming there anymore either. And obviously this is all results always pending any potential stewards interactions and that, but assuming it's as it stands at the end. Look, it's the difference that running out of energy makes. Look, you struggle to get that done there. You're better off not using your energy and letting it run on medium than running out of it. But well, he's got the lead. Can he get the gap? And remember, he's got to get 5 seconds to Gunnar. That's going to be hard enough, but he's got to pull out 11 seconds to Chris. Which I would say is pretty much an impossibility. Just take a look at these tyres a second. Ah, I see now. I didn't realise that the Gunnar's hards are now 23 laps old. So they're getting to the point where they're screaming that they've had enough. And screaming, we don't enjoy this anymore. This is torture. We don't want it. Make it stop. Just looks like Chris has fallen back a bit to get the DRS move. Comes too far back. Can you get a better exit here? No. So you'll have to wait another lap. It's a difficult place to be in a way. I mean, Chris in his mind, as long as he noticed current KK's penalties, he knows he's heading to win this race. But the only thing you can't assume, of course, just because a driver, you know, he could look at Curtin King's penalties, say, right, he's got 11 seconds. Doesn't take a genius to work out that must be 2 corner cuttings, so 6 seconds plus 5. Could be speeding in the pit lane, it could have been a severe collision that gets removed. So really you can only say he's got 6 seconds for an absolute certainty, and he needs to keep the gap below that. If Junkie Emperor makes the move on Chris, Chris is going to come back. Surely Junkie will get the... Well, they both get DRS, wouldn't they, off of the Gunnar? So, that's a bit of driving, but well, we head on to the final lap, and all of this pushing of Curtin King isn't futile, you know. He's 4.4 ahead now of the Gunnar. He may be able to nick second. Get the penalties back up. Make sure it's all still the same. Obviously, Junkie got that extra 3 seconds, so he's got 9 now. Still, as it stands, Chris will win this race on penalty count back. Let's go to KK. He's coming around the hairpin now. was going to say you'll see the other cars appear, but not quite. Chris just out of DRS. Junkie might... No, he's too far back, isn't he? So let's watch KK over the line then. So KK crosses the line in first place. The Gooner crosses in P2. But Chris is promoted to P1 and wins the Canadian Grand Prix. KK was P2, the Gooner P3. Burton King did manage to stretch out the over 5 second gap he needed to the Gooner. And Junkie for P4. Still a very, very good day for Ferrari once again. But Chris shows once again that remaining penalty free at Canada is oh so important. But in the end, that well, it was the speeding in the pit lane, going in for his switch to softs that has cost Burton King the win. The 2-3 seconds he could have got away with, he would have still won the race. But so he'd probably be a little bit annoyed he hasn't won the race because of that. But all in all, he's driven a fantastic race and shows that a two-stop around Canada is a real opportunity there for it. So Chris Sinaway promoted up to P1 and wins the race by a gap of 3.957. Carson King P2, the Gooner P3, and Junkie Emperor P4. Kaz was in an AIO race, and I understand has been kicked in away from Discord, so therefore will not take any further part in the league. Everybody else all DNF'd. Just unfortunate about that. The restart after safety car that took too many drivers from us, I'm afraid. But these things happen. We move on. Let's see a bit of work this week to get the grid up and going and have a fuller grid. Hopefully the guys that couldn't make this week will be back next week in a way, which would already give us a pretty decent grid. So yeah, if those guys are able to make next week, that'd be great. And then just get a few more in, all should be good. Anyway, overall the actual race, it wasn't the worst race I've ever seen, I'm not going to lie. It was a pretty good race. As I said, a shame about the mishap after the safety car. It's just a shame because it took so many drivers with it. And a shame to have someone crash it so early on and then leave. But as I said, they're gone in a way now. So, yeah, all in all, it was a good race. That was a nice battle at the end. It was interesting watching Carton King trying to press that gap out after finally getting past the Ferraris, and I'd imagine Chris driving. Well, let's just say I'd imagine it was probably sweaty palms trying not to get a penalty added towards the end. But there we go. Anyway, congratulations to the 4 finishers, and especially to Chris on winning the race. And we'll be back next week, guys, same time for round 10 of the season. Thank you very much for everybody that's joined and watched with me. Thank you to anybody that watches the stream back. It's all appreciated. I am driving tomorrow night, so I will be back streaming on Tuesday at 8 PM for WAOF1. So please come and join me for that. It's should be a great race. But anyway, thank you ever so much to everybody tonight. Enjoy the rest of what's left of little bits left of the weekend, and have a good week at work. But thank you very much, everyone, and good night.